I'm David Harris, President of Union College. It is my pleasure to provide the fourth and final update from the Planning for Multiple Tomorrows Working Group. The PMT completed its work today. For the past month, the group has met for 2 hours every weekday morning. We've had many conversations about difficult issues, but also lighter moments between students, faculty, and staff. One of my favorite parts of each week has been our Friday meetings, where our first agenda item is sharing something that brought us joy that week, PMT or otherwise. I'm inspired by PMT members' ability to hear one another and our community, and to understand that there are no easy answers to this dynamic set of challenges. Importantly, PMT remained true to its charge, always keeping our overarching goals in mind, safeguarding the health and well-being of our campus community and surrounding communities, completing the 2020-21 year while remaining true to Union College's core mission and vision, and ensuring the short and long-term financial sustainability of the college. PMT's focus has been on August 1 through next summer. There are ongoing administrative conversations about when and how we can reopen the campus to faculty and staff, given state guidelines. The core of PMT's work was identifying a number of scenarios and assessing the opportunities and challenges associated with each. Critically, the PMT was able to engage in conversations that were unusually frank, constructive, deep, and broad. For example, we developed a deep understanding of the hopes and fears of students, faculty, staff, and parents through town halls, a survey, small group conversations, emails, and one-on-one conversations. We developed a broad understanding of how realizing hopes and mitigating fears is impacted by a complex set of interconnected factors, including our calendar, our mission, our facilities, our culture, our choices, and our risk tolerances. Understanding what can be rethought, even temporarily, was the subject of work within and across the 5 PMT subgroups, as well as through interactions with campus and external partners. Over the coming weeks, the PMT's deep conversations and nuanced recommendations will inform our decisions about the 2020-21 year. We will announce our plans by the end of June. Success will be measured by what we are able to achieve throughout the coming year. In addition to discussing these scenarios with the community as a whole and with subgroups, we will engage the existing governance and advisory bodies. Decisions will be guided by a number of factors, including, first, the fundamental goals established for the PMT, safety, mission, and financial sustainability. Second, New York State's guidance on reopening higher education. Through the Commission on Independent Colleges and Universities, the CICU, the college contributed to recommendations that were shared with the state. We are anticipating state guidance in early June that will affect when and how residential higher education can reopen in New York. Third, as we and others have stated repeatedly, we cannot return to a residential model unless periodic, reliable, and rapid diagnostic and antibody testing are available for all members of our community. In addition, returning and completing each term will depend on effective contact tracing. So that's partnering with the Schenectady County Health Department to identify individuals who may have been exposed to the virus, as well as having sufficient and appropriate quarantine spaces for affected community members who cannot go home. Last, let me say a bit about some of the scenarios we explored. And let me note that there are many ways these scenarios can be modified, and in some cases even combined. First, we could suspend all courses until January 2021. But as I've observed in previous messages, there is every reason to believe that the risks associated with COVID-19 will be at least as great in January as they will be in September. Even if treatment or a vaccine are identified far sooner than anticipated, it will take time to complete testing and production. There's also the risk that a COVID-19 second wave will occur in late 2020, which is one of the reasons why this week you've seen a number of schools announce that they're changing their calendars and starting earlier so that they can complete the residential component of their fall terms by Thanksgiving. Second, we could pursue remote or online education for a term or even the whole year. Now, the important distinction is that a remote term involves moving courses that were created for face-to-face term, moving them to a virtual mode, whereas an online term means that courses were designed with the expectation that they would be conducted virtually. An online term is far more consistent with our academic goals than is a remote term. And with the additional planning time available to faculty for this coming fall term, in contrast to the rapid transition that occurred in March, we would be able to offer more online courses. But we appreciate that even a full range of exceptional online courses would not replace critical elements of a full residential experience. And so neither online nor remote are our preferred options. Third, we could pursue a phased approach that would provide all students with the opportunity to be on campus for the equivalent of 3 terms during the 2020-21 academic year. This scenario has many versions, but let me just describe 2. In one, some number of students are on campus for one of 2 compressed terms that are held during the traditional fall, winter, and spring terms. So you'd have fall A, fall B, winter A, winter B. You might have spring A and spring B as well. In another version, all students are on campus for 3 of 4 full terms, and the 4 terms would be fall, winter, spring, and summer. When students are not on campus taking residential classes, they participate in some number of engaging online educational and enrichment activities. Some might be for credit, and others would help students develop competencies that are critical to realizing their full potential across multiple tomorrows. Both versions have the advantage of substantially reducing the number of people on campus, thereby enabling lower density in residence halls and academic buildings, common spaces, and other facilities. They also reduce the number of people who be impacted by any infection that might occur on campus. Phased approaches require that we identify engaging opportunities for students when they're not on campus, and creates challenges for students who need to be on campus for more of the academic year due to academic, athletic, or other commitments, or for whom going home during the academic year is just not feasible. They could also create substantial challenges for faculty and staff who might be engaged in teaching and direct student support at more intense levels, or for more of the year than is typical. Fourth, we could just all return to campus, albeit with significant changes in behavior and operations. It's clear that if we can create and sustain an environment without excessive risk, returning is the preferred option for almost every member of our community. The challenges are in creating and sustaining an environment where real and perceived risks are low. We recognize there's a risk of infection in any scenario that includes returning to campus. We know that a new normal requiring substantial, ubiquitous social distancing and perhaps some online activities does not align with our traditional conception of a union experience. We also know that discomfort doesn't mean we can't pivot. Union will look different. Union will feel different. We will have to stretch in ways we haven't had to previously. We're going to need to be much more flexible no matter what we do. We're going to break down silos. We're going to have to look after and care for one another in ways that have never had such importance or gravity. We're likely going to have to be patient for a time until all members of this community can be together on this campus. We will also have to appreciate that in the spirit of multiple tomorrows, conditions could change this summer or even during the academic year that would yet again test our ability to be flexible while never losing sight of the core mission and core values of this college. We will need to muster more wisdom, more empathy, and more courage than perhaps we thought we had. Now, if the many hours I've spent with the PMT in our community over the past month have taught me anything, and I can assure you they've taught me a lot, it is that empowering and hearing our students, faculty, staff, parents, alumni, and friends are the key to our future success. We may be 225 years old, but we're just getting started. As always, have a safe and joyful day. I look forward to seeing you soon.